Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today and welcome to today's episode of The Black Entrepreneur, a videocast and podcast put together by the Black Entrepreneur Ecosystem, Southeastern Ontario. Our focus is to hear the stories of Black entrepreneurs in our communities, to allow those stories to inspire, to encourage, and to act as a source of inspiration for other entrepreneurs, and especially Black entrepreneurs as they grow their businesses, and for those that are looking to start as they start their businesses. The Black Entrepreneur Ecosystem is really here to support and to help Black entrepreneurs grow, succeed, and prosper, and to add value to the communities that we find ourselves in. My name is Patrick Ebunonu, and I'm your host today. I'm the chair of the board of directors, and I'm also the president and chief AI officer for Informanos Analytics and Artificial Intelligence. Today I have one of the most humble entrepreneurs I've ever met in my life in the studio. Please join me to welcome Nomusa Mngoma. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Nomusa is the CEO and founder of Dansani Dance Company. Did I get that?
Yes, you got that perfectly.
Oh my goodness, I'm on a roll here.
Perfectly, you got it perfectly.
Excellent. And Nomusa, it's so good to have you join us today. I know that you wear multiple hats, but again, I mentioned at the beginning, you're one of the most humble entrepreneurs and person and individuals I've ever met. Before we get into my questions for you today, would you mind introducing yourself to I know you, so to the folks who are listening, introduce yourself, your company, what do you do, why do you do what you do, and what drives you?
Thank you, Patrick. It's a real pleasure to be here, and thanks for the invitation and those kind words. Well, as introduced, my name is Nomusa, and yes, I wear multiple hats. But just as a way of background, I was born and raised in South Africa. And during the apartheid era, so some of our viewers maybe are aware of what apartheid is. And in many ways, that really has influenced my journey since from that time. But anyway, what brought me to Kingston is university. So I came to Kingston to attend Queen's University. And as the saying goes, just never left after that. Yeah, so, but that's part of that's part of my story, because what I do today, I think, was very much influenced by where I grew up, what I saw growing up, the circumstances of growing up under apartheid, and seeing how your social environment, how your social environment determines a lot about your health, about your life. And so I've made it a focus of my research, my academic research, really to focus on those social factors that affect us in so many ways, but most profoundly how they affect our health. So as a way of one of my many hats, I'm a research scientist in the Faculty of Health Sciences at Queen's University. I do primarily global health research, and most of my research is in Southern Africa. Again, this is really another way of me giving back, because it's been a privilege to be able to live away from that environment, at least geographically. And so, however, the challenges continue. And so just being here and having sort of that opportunity to do a little bit that I can to contribute as a research scientist in global health is a fantastic privilege. Yeah, so that's one of my many hats that I wear, and feel very privileged to wear.
Amazing, amazing. So tell us about Dansani. Did I pronounce it well? Like how do you pronounce Dansani? What does Dansani mean? And what is Dansani all about?
Yeah, okay. So you pronounced it well, except, with no, you did pronounce it well. I like the smoothness, how the words come out smoothly. So yes, it's the name of the company is called Dansani. And the word Dansani actually is, so when I was creating this company, I wanted both the name and the logo, I wanted to bring part of my heritage into it, because that is very much a part of me. So Dansani is a Zulu word for dance, but not just dance, but let us dance as a collective. And so I really wanted to bring that invitation, that collective aspect to it. And so, yeah, so basically that's what Dansani means. But part of the Dansani logo is actually inspired by the notion of Ubuntu. So the concept of Ubuntu is very well known, and it's it's a common way of being in most of Southern Africa, although it translates to other parts of the world as well. So part of the logo is the symbol of Ubuntu, represents Ubuntu, but also the movement of dance. Yeah, so that's Dansani. So Dansani is my dance company. At Dansani, we teach a range of dance styles and genres, but primarily ballroom dancing and Latin dancing, which is like salsa and others. So that's what we do. We offer both group and private dance lessons. And so as per client, customer's preference.
That's great news, because I know one or two folks that I should be sending your way.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you. They'll be very welcome.
Very good. Very good to hear that. Now, in our conversation so far, you talked about the personal training and the coaching you do at your studio. Well, I think I've seen you do corporate events and community events. Can you talk about that too?
And so I've done work with the likes of Keys. I've done work for the city of Kingston, facilitating different events. I've done work for the Kingston Downtown BIA, again facilitating group dances in different spaces, like downtown Market Square. Yeah, it's been a very popular program actually. So yeah, so I do corporate events, and that portfolio is really growing for the business.
I mean, you look so relaxed and so calm, and yet you're wearing multiple hats. You're the CEO of Dansani, you're a researcher, you're publishing, you're making impact in global health. How do you balance, how do you live a balanced life? How do you balance all of these and still stay relaxed and stress-free?
Yeah, well, it's a good question, and one of the ways that I look at it, and I truly believe that helps, if I didn't have the arts in my life, in my everyday life, I think it would be a different experience, even as a research scientist. I find that all of us, all human beings, need that artistic outlet. It doesn't matter what it is, you need that artistic outlet. Now, more so for people who spend a lot of their time in their head, thinking, analyzing, issues, problems, sitting with their books and articles. You need to get out of your head and just be in the artistic space. So for me, it's like, it's like an incredible privilege, because I get to leave the office, get to leave the science behind and go into the studio, and I get to dance and and meet people. So that's what I do to create that space for balance in my life. I also love gardening. I love gardening. So I'll come from the office, I stop in the garden, I do some work there, and then I head to the studio, I dance my heart out, and that's pretty much it.
You know what? I can feel my backyard right now saying, Patrick, you're the wrong owner of this house. But anyway, thank you very much for sharing details about yourself, about Dansani. I want to switch a little bit to talk about your experience as an entrepreneur in southeastern Ontario. If you think about, the process of starting your company, what are some obstacles you faced to start your company here in southeastern Ontario, or what are some obstacles you're still facing, and how have you overcome, or how are you overcoming those obstacles? And maybe there are some that you haven't overcome, but tell us about the unique challenges you faced as an entrepreneur in southeastern Ontario.
Yeah, I think the sorts of obstacles that I faced are common, would be very well known to, other folk trying to start a small business or running a small business. And one of them is capital. That's a challenge. And so I haven't solved it. I continue, to work towards it, but that definitely is a challenge, has been a challenge, was a challenge. And with the other resources that we have in the community, it really helps, like BISO, like CADCO has been a great sort of support in the sense of giving ideas and strategies to access more capital. There are other organizations like at Queen's. There's Weekend, which is great, has been great. I've learned a lot through Weekend. I've attended a number of master classes. So all those support systems are available, and they've helped a lot. And so my business is very new, actually. Although I've been teaching dance for over a decade, I actually didn't have like a formal business.
Wow.
So I'm very new to this business world in the same sense. So I've had to do a lot of learning, and I really have to encourage anyone who's thinking about starting a business or is early on in their business journey that there are support systems in place, and what one needs to do is just reach out. Yeah, so that's one of the bigger challenges. But another one, especially for those who wear multiple hats, is time. Like just really time. There are many ideas that come to mind, and like that would be great to do. I'd love to do this, and then it's like, man, the day still has 24 hours. It's like, how do I expand the day? So yeah, I mean that one is a reality. But again, it's not anything unique. Anyone who has a side hustle, you kind of know that's part of the game, right? Yeah. So those are the two that I can think of others.
Yeah. Wow. Well, again, it's I thank you for sharing these experiences, and I find that you've handled a lot of things with grace and with a lot of maturity too. I do have another question, and this goes back to thinking about you wearing different hats and Dansani. If there's somebody out there who is thinking about starting their own business, what advice would you give them? They're thinking, I want to do something I'm passionate about. I want to start my own business. What would you advise them to do?
Well, you said I'm passionate. So passion, to me, honestly, passion is one of the key elements, because especially if it's a side hustle, but even if it's your main even if it's your main gig, if you're passionate about something, I find personally that it gives me resilience. I think that would be the first element. That would be the first thing that I say. Now, having said that, of course, there are many things that you need to build and grow the business. There are many supports that you need. And so my other advice would be access resources to raise your own awareness about, especially about things like funding opportunities that are out there. Just training to run a business, because for instance, I had never run a business before I started Dansani. I mean, I knew a lot about, the academics and scholarship, but I hadn't run a business. So I had to learn a lot about just the business running side of things. So yeah, those are sort of the kinds of advice that I would give someone looking to start their business. Yeah, passion, access to the resources, And there are a lot of people that are ready and willing to support. Just make sure you access them. And the rest comes. If you love what you do, it really goes a long way, because the challenges will come. It's part of doing business, but they don't have to limit you. They don't have to stop you.
Wow. I have one more question. I feel like I can keep talking with you, but I have to stop before my director makes me stop. But I have one more question. If you could go back in time and talk to the younger you, the high school you or the undergraduate you, what advice would you give the younger you?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's a great question. So what advice would I give in my undergrad or high school even? I would start. I would say follow your passion. I've been passionate about dance from a very young age. And so, through university, my undergrad, and so on. So I'd say follow your passion. But at the same time, stay open. Don't limit yourself. Absolutely stay open to the opportunities. People talk about the universe. Be open to what the opportunities that the universe brings to you. If I were to give an example, for me, for example, I never saw myself as a teacher. Like teaching, it was not one of the things when people say, what would you like to do or to be when you grow up? Teaching was never one of those things. I never thought that I was a teacher. But opportunities, so it's like circumstances were pushing me and opportunities were pushing me to become a teacher. And so I'm a teacher in so many different spheres. But again, every single time I hear it over and over again that you're a great teacher. Now, if I had restricted myself and cut that aspect off, who knows where I would be today. So I'll say follow your passion, but also stay open to opportunities.
Wow, that's amazing.
And one more thing is that none of our experiences are ever wasted. Absolutely none. Sometimes you could be doing something that you're thinking, oh man, I can't wait to get to doing the thing that I want to do. But really just remember the opportunities that come your way. Every piece of activity, project that you're involved in, it comes in handy. It goes towards building the new you every single day. So yeah, that's it from me. Those are the lessons that I would share.
Well, Nomusa, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today, and I really, really wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
I know that you do very well, and one of these days, I've been saying it, I'm going to come to dance.
Thank you, Patrick, for having me. It really is a pleasure having this conversation with you, and I am really pleased to see BISO in our community, because I think as entrepreneurs, we really need an organization like BISO. There are so many of us who could use the support and the resources that BISO is promoting. So thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you very much. And to our viewers and listeners, thank you very much again for joining us for today's episode of the Black Entrepreneur, presented by the Black Entrepreneur Ecosystem, Southeastern Ontario. It's been great listening to Dr. Nomusa Mngoma, and I hope that you can pick a couple of things from the insights she shared from my experience. I want to say a big thank you to all the folks that helped make this episode happen. I want to thank the board of directors of the Black Entrepreneur Ecosystem. A big thank you to my director, Bwenga Salu, to Damola, to all the volunteers, to the sponsors, and of course to the folks that gave us the space to use Pedal Works Studios and Cafe. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your week or weekend or day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.